This is the Padua Podcast Network.
What we really want is the most healthy and enjoyable diet. This is why I believe we each have to become an expert in our own health. A lot of the diets proven to be healthy in one way or another have common components. Running at Fever, episode 237, The Mind Diet. Welcome to Running at Fever. I'm Michael Davis. This is a podcast about fitness, diet, and medicine. And my goal is to live a long, healthy, happy, active life right up to the very end. And I want you to have that too. So if that's what you want, then you're in the right place. Come on along, we'll get there together. Welcome to the 14th in our 17-part series on dementia. About 50 million people suffer from dementia worldwide. It's a debilitating disease, but it may be preventable in some cases. So I've set out to learn as much as I can and bring you along with me. Now, we've discussed diet quite a bit on the podcast, and usually it has more to do with maintaining a healthy body fat percentage than anything else. But did you know that diet is also important for mental health? In the last episode, I brought up the fact that was new to me, that obesity is related to brain function, particularly memory. So in what other ways can what we eat impact how healthy our brains are? There's now a popularized diet endorsed by some major information sources, such as the Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic, called the Mind Diet. MIND is an acronym that stands for Mediterranean-Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. It combines the Mediterranean diet, known for heart health, and the DASH diet, which is known to help people with hypertension. DASH stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. So, that's a lot of names and stuff, but the components of the diet include the categories of the two other diets, but go into more detail. For example, the Mediterranean diet recommends fruits, but berries are specifically known to improve brain function, so the MIND diet is more restrictive than the other two. I'll start with the basics of the diet, which is pretty simple. There are two lists. One of the things to eat more of, the other of things to avoid. I like this slightly better than just telling me things to avoid, which I call the no diet. And remember, a no diet is no diet. And anyway, the foods to include are green leafy vegetables, all other vegetables, berries, nuts, olive oil, whole grains, fish, beans, poultry, and wine. The foods to avoid are butter and margarine, cheese, red meat, fried food, pastries and sweets. Why? Something a lot of the avoid list items share is trans fat and saturated fat. An NIH report on a number of studies correlated dementia risk with certain types of dietary fats. What about wine? Last episode, I specifically warned you about using alcohol and its detrimental effects on the brain. Well, this is another one of those things where moderation and balance come into play. The MIND diet includes no more than 1 glass of wine per day. And much of the research around this concerns the red wine component resveratrol, which you can get as a supplement without drinking any wine. Now, I drink no alcohol whatsoever. I just don't have any tolerance for it. But to each his own. I also kill 2 birds with 1 stone, figuratively speaking. I've got nothing against birds in particular. By replacing butter in my diet with Smart Balance made from olive oil. And this has the dual benefit of eliminating butter and margarine and adding olive oil. The Cleveland Clinic article I read was specifically aimed at stroke victims and the delay of the onset of dementia. Remember that stroke can lead to vascular dementia, which is, in my opinion, possibly the most preventable of all major types of dementia. Stroke survivors have twice the rate of dementia than the general public, with almost 20% of them developing the disease. A 2018 study of stroke survivors in their 80s found a 20-year difference, presumably referring to the effects of aging on the brain, in people most and least adherent to the MIND diet. Another study's coming out next year, and we'll be all over it when it does. Take my word for that. Is it worth it? Should we make the MIND diet our diet? I think about diets kind of like I think about products in the store sometimes. Back in the 70s when I was growing up, there was basically one kind of toothpaste. It was a white paste and was supposed to prevent cavities. There were several brands, but they were all a tube of white paste. Now I go to the store, and there's a whole aisle devoted to toothpaste. There's whitening toothpaste, toothpaste for sensitive teeth, toothpaste to protect the enamel on your teeth, toothpaste for tartar control. Now, why would I choose one or the other of these? Well, this is true of a lot of different products. I waste more time in the grocery store trying to find the general thing I'm looking for now. It's the same thing with diets. What we really want is the most healthy and enjoyable diet. This is why I believe we each have to become an expert in our own health. A lot of the diets proven to be healthy in one way or another have common components. I look at the MIND diet and I see a lot of the foods I've devoted specific episodes to in the past and try to incorporate or avoid in my own diet. So I think if you go by this diet, you'll be fine. It's similar to a lot of other proposed healthy diets. It's really general advice. Take that general advice and form your own diet based on what you like among the healthy things, and a few unhealthy ones once in a while if you really like them. Next episode, we're going to talk about vitamins and how they can help you prevent dementia. Until then, if you got the fever, keep it, and if you don't have it, catch it. And I will talk to you next time on Running a Fever.